we have all of this historic water infrastructure here at the Springs Preserve. It's the perfect place to tell the story about the history of that water infrastructure. And so we want to make sure that we're doing our job preserving that history and preserving these structures so we can tell these stories in the future.
The Springs Preserve is the site of the original water source of Las Vegas, where water bubbled to the surface and provided life-sustaining resources for early settlers, travelers, and wildlife alike. As the population of this small desert town grew, it quickly became apparent that infrastructure to protect and safely deliver this resource would be necessary.
The improvements that were made out here helped improve the water quality, helped improve the flow of the water, and also allowed Las Vegas to grow as a town. Without that water infrastructure, Las Vegas wouldn't have been able to grow.
Much of these improvements began in the early 1920s by the Las Vegas Land and Water Company, with the addition of roofs to protect the springs, reservoirs to contain the water, a settling basin to remove sediment, and large redwood stave pipes to transport it. In recent years, preserve archaeologists excavated a portion of the main line that went from the springs to downtown Las Vegas and placed it on display at Boomtown 1905 for guests to witness firsthand.
Now, if you're out here on the site of the Springs Preserve, you can see old buildings, old structures, you can see well derricks, settling basins, reservoirs, all those things. But what you don't see is what's underneath the ground. Between all of those structures, there's pipes running between them. The earliest pipes we would have had on site here would have been constructed out of redwood stave or redwood logs, either built into a pipe or drilled out a hollow core. Those redwood stave pipes would transport the water from the springs to the reservoir, where the water could be treated, chlorine, other chemicals used to treat and to help clean the water before it was pumped on to Las Vegas through those large 30-inch redwood mainline pipes.
With the pipework laid, we needed a way to get the water from the springs to the residents. The original pump station was built in 1942. Soon after, the Clark Street pump station took shape and still stands today.
And then about 1955, shortly after the Las Vegas Valley Water District was formed, the pump station that you see behind us, the Clark Street pump station, was erected. And it's a very specific type of construction. It's an industrial construction, and very similar to some sort of metal corrugated building construction that we see out associated with Hoover Dam. Inside of the Clark Street pump station, you still have the existing 12-cylinder large diesel engine, as well as all the pumps that were originally installed in the 1950s.
The team looks forward to making the pump station an open exhibit for guests to experience this historic piece of our water delivery system.
There's some really interesting things that we found as we were doing our work on the restoration evaluation of the Clark Street pump station. The original engines are still in there. The original pumps are still in there. We still see some other things. In fact, we see penciled out calculations on one of the door jambs at the entrance of the Clark Street pump station, looking at gallons per hour that would have been coming out of the pump station. So it's really interesting to see those small touches like that. We know that the people that worked for the water district were dedicated people who were working hard to make sure that water was being moved to the right places in the valley. So it's interesting to get an insight to people in the 1950s working in these sites, looking at their calculations.
In addition to the redwood pipe and pump station exhibits, staff is also completing restoration work on a settling basin that was built around 1928 to protect it from the elements. They also continue ongoing efforts to preserve the many well derricks throughout the springs.
The well derricks on site, we have 4 of them, were restored originally in 1999. Because of issues with the ground surface and subsidence, well derrick number 5 was never restored. And so we're currently looking at plans to stabilize that well derrick and put it back together so it can be there as a symbol for the Las Vegas Valley Water District for years to come.
The work brings history to life and serves as a lesson in understanding and appreciating the value of water to our community, as well as those who work to deliver it to us each and every day.
Being able to understand how water has moved around the valley in a historic context helps people understand better what it takes to do that, the efforts taken to do that, and the hard work that the people of the Las Vegas Valley Water District put in every day to make sure the water comes out of your tap.
And to top off your history lesson, you can visit our Waterworks exhibit. Get a modern, behind-the-scenes look at the journey water takes to reach your tap. Because at the Springs Preserve, we know that the best way to encourage action is through engaging education. And it's more important than ever to have all Southern Nevadans join in the water conservation effort.
Well, we know that we're going through a historic drought here in southern Nevada. It's been going on for many years. And the conservation efforts that the people living in the Las Vegas Valley have undertaken have really made a significant difference to the consumption of water here. But understanding a little bit better the history of that water and how that water gets to your tap maybe makes you appreciate a little bit more about what you need to do personally and in your own home to conserve and save water. It's very important to us. It's very important to the future of Las Vegas, very important to the future of the Las Vegas Valley, that we understand the process and what it takes to get water from Lake Mead out of your tap.